Problem 30. We want the number obtained when x decreased by 4 is divided by the product of 3 and y. So we're doing some division there because we're dividing by something by something.
So x minus 4 divided by 3 times y.
X decreased by 4 does translate into x minus 4, and the product of 3 and y is 3 times y. And so again, we can put a dot in between them, or more and more we're just going to leave those numbers just right next to each other. That means we're multiplying. 34 or 32. I've got this expression y minus 2. And what are some of the ways we've learned to express the expression y minus 2 in English?
I wrote the difference between y and 2.
The difference between y and 2,
y minus 2.
now, just two things first. First yours, yeah, y minus 2 is how we would say that. But we're looking, typically we will not see like y minus, y plus, y times, those words in text. So we're starting to look for other words that don't mention the operation, that mention this operation a little more obliquely. Now the difference between y and 2. This is how often differences are expressed. What's unclear about this?
Where you want to subtract from.
Yeah, which gets to be, and so that's why your book used the difference instead of between y and 2 when, say, 2 is subtracted from y. Okay? So that's one way it's done. What's another way? Using the word less. Okay, that's the one using the word decrease. So y decreased by 2. And finally, what else? The one that uses the word less.
Y less than 2.
Is it y less than 2 or 2 less than y?
It's 2 less than y.
Okay, let's think about what goes first. Think back to numbers. That seems to be one that's getting several people twisted up. 2 less than 10. What's that as a number?
8.
8. And how did you get that?
Simple subtraction.
10 minus 2. Well, it's not just simple subtraction. It's what from what. I mean, the subtraction itself is simple, but we're trying to focus on what from what. 10 minus 2. So 2 less than 10 is 10 minus 2. So the idea of going 2 less is subtracting 2. So what's 2 less than y going to be? Or what's, y minus 2 going to be? It's going to be 2 less than y. 2 less minus 2. So that's going to take some getting used to here. Let's go with 34 and 36. So 34. I've got xz, isn't it, right? Okay. So that's the expression on 34. How do we express that in English? The product. Yeah, that word we're looking for, that translation, is the product of x and z. Again, what we want to avoid is x times z. That's not where we're going with this. Yes?
Can I add y?
It's a matter of getting you to recognize those other terms. So when I say translate, it's just it's somewhat arbitrary. It's a little arbitrary. I'm wanting you to recognize those terms: sum, product, quotient, difference, less than, more than, decreased by, increased by. I want you to recognize those things and know how to translate them back and forth from symbols to language and from language to symbols. So I don't want just a literal, I want to strike the words, not permanently, but for the sake of this exercise, I want to strike the words times, divided by, subtract, minus, and plus. I want to subtract, how would you say this? And get you to think of what are some of these other ways it could be said that you might have to recognize. So the product of x and z is how we talk about a times. Number 36. I've got x plus y over 2. What is that thing?
The quotient.
It is a quotient. The quotient where what is done is divided by what?
The sum of x.
Is it a product or a sum up on top of number 36?
So,
It's a sum. It's plus. The sum, what's in that sum?
X plus y.
X and y. So x plus y is what's written on the paper. The sum of x and y is what it is divided by what? 2.